So like my whole thing about like students being teachers is that like I'm automatically kind of required to be an educator just to be taken seriously. Uh so like I got really semantic in this question about like the fact that like we kind of already are all educators for something, whether it's our own personal identities or a thing we're passionate about. So I'm less about like the idea of like, oh, students should be teachers, and more about the fact that like we're all already our own teachers in a variety of ways. There should be what EXCO is, opportunities, spaces made for us to be teachers. Uh because I think it's really important that so much of the education system is built kind of around belittling students and the idea of like, oh, you're kind of like stupid. We must give you this knowledge. When a lot of students know a ton of stuff about a variety of things, uh, we are not stupid. We don't need to be belittled by the education system when we could be a part of it in meaningful and constructive ways.
um, Even if someone is teaching the same exact thing, I mean, her perspectives are going to be definitely different, and what she has to offer and what she can add is going to be different than, the next person. So you are seeing multiple perspectives. When I taught, like, assign my first assignment with my students, it's basically like a kind of a discussion board where they introduce themselves, and then there's like a vision board kind of attached to it. So I am seeing like who they are and what their interests are, and what their life experiences are, and just hearing their stories and reading their stories and just seeing, like visually, how they're telling their stories. A lot of them, it's really interesting, and a lot of them have a lot to offer. And I know I have two students now who I've spoken to who want to apply to teach, because and it has to do with their major. So it's just, what their interests are. And I think that they have something to say, they have a message that people need to hear. And it's kind of exciting, to know that they're interested in teaching an expo class. And I think we'll have a couple new teachers.
I agree with that. Like it brings more diverse and empowering topics because students tend to like some classes students don't connect to at all. Like you could take so many marketing classes, but if it's not about like the marketing industry that you want to go into, you're never going to really connect to as much. So like thinking about K-pop in that aspect and the way they market it to broader audiences, I think it really helps students connect and like really understand, because when I'm looking at like the news for K-pop and things like that, I'm like, oh, that's some bad PR marketing thing happening there. Like I analyze it kind of as like going through, but like when I look at homework assignments where it's like this pharmaceutical company did this, this, and this, I'm not drawn to it as much, you could say. So when students bring their own topics, it really helps understand like normal topics across the board easier, I guess.